Hi there, thanks for checking out our repair channel. This is just this is going to be an overview of this unit. This is a Gallagher MR2500. It's a 25 store Joule unit. Gallagher no longer makes this model. They came out with the, they've got the MB1800i and the MB2800i nowadays. That's what took its place. But these are pretty good units, pretty strong units. They weren't the biggest that Gallagher made or the biggest unit out there by any other brand out there, but there's a lot of them out there. A pretty good unit. But this is one that we repaired for a customer. We got it going again. It's pretty reliable. This particular unit is a 2005 model, and it had a lot of original parts in it. But luckily, most of the parts are still good. There's just a few things that were bad that we had to replace and fix up on the inside. And to buy a new one, if you bought like the MB2800i, you're looking at about $1,000, give or take $100 for one of those. And we fixed this one for less than half that. So we always do give free quotes, and we do put a 1.5-year warranties on everything that we work on. So if you've got one of these, we'd be happy to look at it for you. So let's talk a little bit about it. It has two lights on here. One is, they're both green typically. Okay, this light up here should be a green light. Just a solid green light, tell you that the power's on. This light down here, when it starts clicking, should flash with a green light with every pulse. Now this light up here will change colors from time to time, depending on if there's a load, or how heavy of a load you get, how bad of a short you get. You can also put it into half power mode, which will show a yellow light up top. The only way for you to put that into half power is on the back of the unit. There's a set of switches up inside here. This one's got a set of 8 up inside, little dip switches, and those different switches correspond to this little chart in the back here for the different alarms and settings and sensitivity things for remote controls and half power, full power. But from the factory, it comes set at full power. So the only way for you to typically get this to go to half power is to manually turn that switch that corresponds with it to half power. But this is also an adaptive unit, I believe. Gallagher calls it adaptive control, which means it kind of adapts its output to the fence conditions. So they've been doing that with a lot of well, nowadays they do it with a bunch of units, but back in the day when this was being made, they only did it with about 2 units, maybe 3. I think 3, maybe 4 units. The MR2500, MR5000 did that, and the MBX2500 did it. At least here in the States, they have up in Canada, they also sold an MBX1500, but they never sold that down here in the States. Those were all adaptive control, which means if it's a 25 joule unit, this has a number. It might only put out 5 or 10 joules, depending on what it needs. But as soon as the load on the fence gets worse with grass or whatever shorts it's feeling between fence and ground, it will adapt the Energizer output to correspond with what it feels and put out more power to fight through the shorts. Gallagher used to do that on a bunch of old units back in the 80s and 90s, the big 25 and 50 joules units that they used to have back then. But a lot of their standard medium-powered units and smaller don't have that adaptive control. They do put that adaptive technology in their, I think it's in the MB1000 maybe, and the M1100 and bigger on their current lineup. So that what's nice about that is they don't get hot. The units run really efficiently. So if there's not much stress on the fence, why put out all the power in the world, make things work harder than what they have to, and stress things out when you only need to use 10% of the power that to run the fence? Because the fence is nice and clean, there's no reason to put 100% of the power all the time to it. That's what happens with a lot of the big speed rights, and even some of the medium powered speed rights, and the stay fixed units, and also the big Zariba 100 and 200 mile units that they sell at Tractor Supply and some of the farm fleet stores, stuff like that. They put out all the power all the time typically. So that's why a lot of their units, when you open them up, they're all discolored and overheated and stressed out looking. Especially those Zariba 100 mile and 200 mile units. They have a big problem with the transformers getting hot and burning out, and it caused a chain reaction of problems. So Gallagher's really got their act together with their bigger units, and even some of the medium power units, that they don't have that. They have that adaptive control. The units don't run that hot, so that's why their units last for decades. It seems like on most of their units. Unless lightning gets a hold of them or a bad stress breaks them down, then sometimes they'll go bad quicker than that. But typically, you can get 10 years or better out of one of these things. I mean, this one's a 2005, and it's the first time I ever look on the inside. I had a lot of original parts to it. Even the board was original, so I'd say this one's got to be that 14-year-old range based on today's date. All right, well, let's turn it on. So there's your green power light, tells you, hey, the power's on. And there's the green light that flashes with every pulse. So we'll put a fence tester across here. Get 8,400 volts out of it. So at 25 or up to 25 joules, so it packs quite a punch. Now I'm going to take a screwdriver or a pair of pliers. I'm going to touch the ground side and get real close to the hot side and see the spark it throws. So packs quite a punch and handle a pretty good amount of fence. I don't know how well it shows up on the video, but half time you got to see it in person. Actually arced up the terminals a little bit when I put that screwdriver across there. So, but if you've got an old Gallagher unit like this one, or a big unit of a Gallagher, I mean, we work on all this stuff. It doesn't matter what brand it is, what model it is, how old it is, how new it is. We work on everything. We always give you a free quote. We put an 18-month repair warranty on everything that we work on. No matter how old it is, we'll put a warranty on everything. But if you've got a unit like this, you'd like us to take a look at it, you can check our website out. There's a description, or down in the description area, there's a little link you can click on. It's fencerfixer.com, and Fencer and Fixer is both spelled with an F as in Frank. But you can check us out there. And so if you got a couple of these laying around that have just been collecting dust, might as well put them to use of some sort, or have them as a good backup unit. Because typically, when repairing one of these things, they're definitely worth fixing. They're too darn expensive to just throw away. I mean, if you buy a new one, these would make a good backup unit for a rainy day. But, like our video, if you like it, ask us questions if you got questions. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. But until we do another video, we will see you guys later.